Council meeting to order. Would you please stand and join me in the saying of the pledge? Mr. Spellbring, would you lead us in the pledge, please? Thank you. Yep. Can we close those back doors, please? Ask the Melody, would you do a roll call, please?
Councilman Holtz.
Present.
Councilman Curry.
Here.
Councilwoman King.
Here.
Councilman Mishler.
Present.
Councilman Fish.
Here.
Councilwoman Hines. Councilman Crabtree.
Here.
Councilman Hinkie. President Dawson.
Present. Could I get approval of the minutes for April 7, 2025 council meeting?
So moved.
Second.
By Mr. Fish, second by Mr. Crabtree. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Presentations and introductions. Arbor Day proclamation. We'll be presenting that proclamation for us.
I am sorry.
The mayor.
Thank you. Thank you. Every year, we do or read a proclamation to announce and to proclaim the city as an arbor city. And this is the proclamation for 2025. And so if you would bear with me while I read this, I would appreciate it. Whereas in 1872, J. Sterling Morton proposed to the Nebraska Board of Agriculture that a special day be set aside for the planting of trees. And whereas this holiday, called Arbor Day, was first observed with the planting of more than 1 million trees in Nebraska. And whereas Arbor Day is now observed throughout the nation and the world, and whereas trees can reduce the erosion of our previous topsoil by wind and water, cut heating and cooling costs, moderate the temperature, clean the air, provide life-giving oxygen, and provide habitat for wildlife. And whereas trees are a renewable resource, giving us paper, wood for our homes, fuel for our fires, and countless other wood products. And whereas trees in our city increase property values, enhance the economic vitality of business areas, and beautify our community. And whereas trees, wherever they are planted, are a source of joy and spiritual renewal. Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Rod Robertson, Mayor of the City of Elkhart, Indiana, do hereby proclaim April 25th, 2025 as Arbor Day in the city of Elkhart, Indiana. And I urge all residents to celebrate Arbor Day and to support efforts to protect our trees and woodlands, and to plant trees to gladden the heart and promote the well-being of trees for future generations. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Let the records indicate that Councilman Hinkie has joined us.
Point of order.
Mr. Mishler.
Due to some of the time constraints some of the folks in the audience have today, I request that we move Resolution 25-R-12 to the next item on the agenda.
Got a motion, second, that we move that to the next item on the agenda. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Melody, would you read proposed resolution
25-R-12.
25-R-12 in its entirety, please.
Proposed Resolution 25-R-12, a resolution to create a climate-resilient city of Elkhart that will protect the community and future generations.
Would you read it in its entirety?
That is, I don't have.
I should have told you that ahead of time. I'm sorry, Melody.
Whereas the city of Elkhart has a history of investing in environmental education and stewardship, including maintaining a municipal recycling system for over 35 years and creating the Elkhart Environmental Center in 1991, which has provided education and remediation to thousands of youth and residents. And whereas the city of Elkhart has sought to purchase homes located in floodplains to reduce environmental impacts on low-income communities and has been an Arbor Day Foundation Tree City USA since 1991 and has given away and planted thousands of trees throughout the city. And whereas the city of Elkhart has progressed towards a sustainable future through its participation in Indiana University Environmental Resilience Institute 2020 Greenhouse Gas Inventory to establish a climate action plan for Elkhart in the summer of 2020. And whereas the Purdue, the Purdue Climate Change Action Center states that through an estimated climate research index based on current trends of greenhouse gas emissions, that by the year 2050, the city of Elkhart will be subjected to extreme weather and environmental threats. And whereas the Environmental Protection Agency has identified that the leading contributor to climate change is industrial, commercial, and residential fossil fuel use and emissions, and according to the U.S. Energy Information Administration, a total of 163,186,000 metric tons of carbon dioxide was emitted in 2020 in the state of Indiana. And whereas a detailed step-by-step plan established by the International Council for Local Government Initiatives and the Environmental Resilience Institute describes the process of making the city of Elkhart a more environmentally resilient city by conducting an emission inventory and forecast, setting emission reduction targets, developing a local climate action plan, implementing a climate action plan, and monitoring and verifying emissions and reductions. And whereas a complete climate action plan will help Elkhart citizens and officials understand the current environmental condition of the city while allowing for an established progression of improved public health and safety, new economic development, and increased community engagement and civic pride. And whereas a climate resilient city will protect communities most affected by climate change through a secured urban development plan intended to bring sustainable infrastructure to all areas in Elkhart. And whereas a completed plan to make Elkhart a more climate resilient city will protect physical assets and will allow for decreased local government spending on natural disaster recovery, public health costs, and non-renewable energy sources to power urban infrastructure. And whereas numerous Indiana communities have adopted similar youth-led resolutions that have activated climate action plan processes, including nearby cities like South Bend and Goshen. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Common Council of the City of Elkhart, Indiana, that the City of Elkhart acknowledges the current threat of climate change and will work to identify steps towards mitigation, hereby taking the first step to creating a more sustainable future for the city and reducing certain climate change impacts.
Thank you. Can I get a motion and a second? Keep going.
Is there a 3rd page? Okay, I'm sorry. Utilizing the results of the greenhouse gas inventory, the City of Elkhart will write and adopt a climate change action plan as an official guide for the city to reduce greenhouse gas emissions, implement climate-related programs and policies, and prepare for the impacts of climate change on the local community. The Climate Change Action Plan should be completed in no more than 3 years from the date of this resolution and should include an overview of potential costs and general timelines of the project. The City of Elkhart will identify a sustainability officer with responsibilities to include coordinating with residents and community partners and exploring grant opportunities through various local, state, and federal programs. The sustainability officer position will be a current city employee in a relevant department who is selected by the mayor for their interest, knowledge, and concern for environmental issues. The City of Elkhart will actively engage and educate the youth of Elkhart about the importance of environmental sustainability and resilience at both the local and national level, as well as the role they play in these issues. The City of Elkhart will work in cooperation with community partners, students, residents, and local stakeholders to implement services and structures within the city, such as a green infrastructure, reduced energy consumption in city facilities, and continued natural resource and land conservation. This resolution shall be in effect from and after its passage by the Common Council and approved by the mayor, according to law.
Thank you. Can I get a motion and a second to adopt this resolution?
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion by Mr. Mishler, second by Mr. Holtz. Any council discussion? Mr. Hinkie.
So, I mean, I appreciate what this resolution is attempting to do. I don't want it to be, just a feel-good thing. If we're utilizing a current position to do all this communication, tracking, meeting with residents, developing a plan, the question is, who is that person and how do they have that much available time would be one of those. The fact that it could bring us to a plan, I mean, it's going to open our eyes one way or the other, right? But it has to be within the capability of the city to implement, otherwise we're just going through motions. And so I think we're going to have to glean more as this group meets. It talks about a 3-year process, and then it has to prioritize what the city should be doing. Has some other city provided a study such as this that gives us a little bit of an idea what to expect and how far it reaches?
Thank you. Any other council questions? Discussion? Seeing none, I'll open it up to the public. Is anyone in the public who would like to speak?
Were we going to address my question or no?
I didn't hear anyone. But would anybody in the public like to speak to this resolution?
Megan Irwin, Chief of Staff. This is a youth-led resolution. This is Lorelei England. She's going to provide a little bit of context as to the group that worked on putting this together. This is a resolution to recognize Elkhart's longstanding commitment to environmental stewardship and help our community mitigate the impacts of climate change. I just want to really commend their efforts and say thank you to everyone who supported this initiative to bring awareness and accountability to the city on such an important issue. I'll turn it over to Lorelei.
Thank you.
Hello, Council. My name is Lorelei England, and I'm here on behalf of Greenheart, which is a youth-led environmentalist group.
You lift the mic up so we can hear you better, and don't be scared, we don't bite.
All right. Hello, Council. My name is Lorelei England, and I'm here on behalf of Greenheart, which is a youth-led environmentalist group created by high schoolers representing what we think are important environmental issues regarding Elkhart. So we created this resolution. Oh, well, I actually didn't create this resolution. It was created 3 years ago by 2 different high schoolers named Elena Cooper and Wichita Keene, who came together after learning the many issues that Elkhart has with environmentalism and learning about many world issues with environmentalism and wanting to help their own community out. So they met with certain youth with certain environmental leaders like Jim Posey, who's the youth environmentalist press leader for Indiana, and with Paul Stewart, who's right there. And together they worked to create this resolution and then presented it for the first time here in 2024, which is when I joined. And this year, or last year, we created the Greenheart, which is a youth environmentalist group, and Duncan Lefevre is one of our other members, and sadly our other members couldn't be here due to conflicting obligations. But our resolution is meant to help this city do what we believe is lead towards a better future and help future generations behind us. For me personally, I always get worried seeing the elementary schoolers that are underneath me because I want to create a better world for them than the one I feel like we're heading towards. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much. You did a great job. Thank you. Is there anyone else that would like to speak?
I would love to. I'm not sure if I'm visible.
Yes. State your name and
Hi, my name is Dr. Sarah Nahar. I just completed a PhD in religion and in environmental studies, and I am from Elkhart. And to Hanky's point, I think that it depends. The scope depends on what we can do together. And this is a project that, as Elkhart thinks together, we future-proof our city. We make it one that's attractive in the new climate economy, and we think carefully about what the scope is in terms of what is possible and what we can imagine. It's been awesome to see how the youth have been envisioning this, and I think it's going to be important to have a task force that is quite representative. One example that I've studied is in Petaluma, California, which helped them understand particularly the impact of combined sewer overflow on their waters, both as it related to drinking and as it relates to recreation. I think that's fairly applicable to Elkhart. But overall, the sections of the Climate Action Plan, some will be related to mitigation and some will be related to adaptation. So I also would like to know where the available time can come from, or if there's a way to make the Sustainability Commissioner a new position that has a budget and that has a lot of time allocated to do the very things that are in this resolution. Thank you.
thank you. Is there anyone else in the audience? Please step forward.
Like Lorelei said, I'm Duncan Lefevre. I am a Greenheart member. I'm a senior at Elkhart High School. I'd really like to stress that this resolution is very important because it's not just a decision that affects the current generations living in Elkhart. It doesn't even just affect the current kindergartners in Elkhart Community Schools. It affects the generations to come. 250 years down the line, 500 years down the line, the city will long outlive just us here in this room. So we need to make sure that that actually stays true, and we need to act to the current problems of our day. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Anyone else? Seeing none, we turn it back to the council floor. Mr. Holtz.
I just wanted to say that I've been watching this pretty closely. I know a lot of the students that are involved, and they're an impressive bunch. The part that I'd like to share, and I think it does relate a little bit to Councilman Henke's point, is that these guys have been very pragmatic. You know, the resolution, if you compare it to what it was a couple of years ago, it has evolved, you know, representing changes in our understanding of our political reality. You know, there were references to things that just don't exist anymore or won't exist going forward. And the kids involved took that in stride, and the resolution evolved with it. And I think that it really is an opportunity to get a wide-ranging group of individuals together and assess what our current status is and help us move together forward. And I think that this young group set a fine example in this process. I'm also very impressed that they were willing to go at the pace that government sometimes does go, you know, because they started basically 2 years ago, and here we are tonight. So I just appreciate them, and I look forward to working with them going forward.
Thank you. Any other questions? Mr. Henke?
So I glean more, I think, from the public on expectation, and it's really quite simple. Just wondering if there's a model anywhere in Indiana of this integration. I really like the concept, future owners of our city. You know, we can't get away from our health risk and, you know, the impact of our environment moving forward. But I do want to be realistic about the time consumption in doing it correctly. I think the doctor spoke to that. I think we should have realistic goals with that. I have not been involved with it, so I think it's fair to say, is there a model that I can look at? Can you draw me to something so we can get a feel for the outline as opposed to waiting 3 years and seeing what happens? The second part about that is, will there be semi-annual, annual updates so we can get a feel for where we're headed, where we're going, and the scope of the project in and of itself? Because again, we can do the resolution, but if we get no more involvement than that, we're really no skin in the game, is my opinion. We're not taking it serious, we're going through motions. So I would like to be a little bit more involved, but to do that, I need to be a little bit more informed.
Thank you. Any other comments? Mr. Mishler?
Thank you. You know, it's really great to see so many in our community rally behind this resolution. And, you know, I have a 7-month-old son and a 10-year-old daughter, and it makes me think of the old proverb, you know, plant trees whose shade you'll never enjoy, but your children and grandchildren will. And this resolution makes me think of that. Not only is it smart from an environmental standpoint, and a climate standpoint, where our community has been faced with 2 rather rough storms in the past couple months, and acknowledging our new climate reality, I think, is very important, and this resolution does that. We cannot live in denial. But I also agree with Councilman Henke that I think we need to make sure that this isn't just a resolution in lip service. We need to make sure that there's some action taken in it moving forward, because this is important, and we need to treat it as such. But yes, thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments? Seeing none, Melody, would you do a roll call vote on this resolution, please?
Councilman Holtz,
Aye.
Councilman Curry,
Yes.
Councilwoman King,
Yes.
Councilman Mishler,
Aye.
Councilman Fish,
Yes.
Councilman Crabtree,
Yes.
Councilman Hinkie, President Dawson.
Aye.
Passes 8-0.
It's a resolution. We're going to take about 2 minutes in case some of our students leave to go to a concert. You're more than free to do that right now.
More than welcome to stay.
And you're more than welcome to stay as well. But we really appreciate you coming out, and we appreciate what you're doing for our community. So keep up the good work. You want to take a picture with him?
They got to get going.
Okay, unfinished business, reports of council. We still got 5 of us. We got no business. All right. No. Always got it.
Recess was called. That includes council members.
We good, we good. On your back? Yes. Hold up the meeting. You and Alex, y'all holding up the meeting. Okay, let us reconvene. Reports of council committees. Mr. Commissioner.
Yes, the Health and Public Safety Committee did meet, and we came back with no recommendation on 25-0-10 and 25-0-11. The committee had some great comments and discussion regarding it, and I would recommend an additional committee meeting for the two ordinances as well.
Yeah, I'm assuming you made a motion to keep it in committee?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Ordinance on second and third reading. Proposed ordinance 25-0-12. Would you read this by title, please?
Proposed ordinance 25-0-12, an ordinance appropriating designated funds necessary to correct an administrative error in the 2025 budgetary process and implement the 2025 budget adopted by the Common Council.
Do I get a motion and a second to adopt this resolution, a motion on second reading?
Second.
Motion by Mr. Hinkey, second by Mr. Crabtree. Council discussion. Mr. Hinkey.
Can we pull this out, the differentiation, and then explain how this actually occurred?
Well, I can, first of all, it wasn't Jamie's fault. I took the presidential privilege to reschedule our finance committee meeting to a special standalone date, and what we advertised was another date. And so that didn't match with what the DGLF wanted us to do. So that's on me.
So it's not in the numbers.
Correct.
It's the council president's fault.
Okay. It's
That's
my
all I
fault.
needed to hear.
I'll
That's
take
all I
the
needed.
burden.
I have big shoulders. Yeah. I have big shoulders. It wasn't Jamie's fault. It was something the council president did. So any other questions for Jamie? If not, thank you, Jamie.
All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you for pointing out the obvious.
God forgive me. I'll open up to the public. Is there anyone in the public that would like to speak with regards to this? Seeing none, we'll turn it back to the council floor. Is there any other council discussion? Seeing none, Melody, would you do a roll call vote on this on second reading?
Councilman Holtz.
Aye.
Councilman Curry.
Yes.
Councilwoman King.
Yes.
Councilman Mishler.
Aye.
Councilman Fish.
Yes.
Councilman Crabtree.
Yes.
Councilman Hinkey.
Aye.
President Dawson.
Aye.
Third and final.
Got a motion from Mr. Mishler, second from Mr. Crabtree for third and final. Melody, would you read it by title, please, and do a roll call vote?
Proposed ordinance 25-0-12, an ordinance appropriating designated funds necessary to correct an administrative error in the 2025 budgetary process and implement the 2025 budget adopted by the Common Council. Councilman Holtz.
Aye.
Councilman Curry.
Yes.
Councilwoman King.
Yes.
Councilman Mishler.
Aye.
Councilman Fish.
Yes.
Councilman Crabtree.
Yes.
Councilman Hinkey.
Aye.
President Dawson.
Aye.
Passes 8-0.
Thank you. Would you read proposed ordinance 25-0-13 by title, please?
Proposed ordinance 25-0-13, and an ordinance appropriating $372,800 for the replacement of the north roof of the Lerner Theater.
I get a motion and a second to adopt this on second
So
reading,
move.
please. Motion by Mr. Crabtree, second by Mr. Fish. Council discussion. Mr. Fish.
Do we know the timeline on when this job would be complete? If this is passed tonight? We've done other work in the past, and I'm just curious, is it going to affect the calendar of events at the Lerner?
Jeff Schaefer, Assistant City Engineer. The due date on the contract is September 30th. The Lerner staff has been involved throughout the process and it will not affect any of the events at the Lerner.
Commissioner.
Thank you. This is a rather fairly sized ask for what appears to be a relatively newish roof, but it is a large flat commercial roof. Does this timeline for its replacement generally fall into what's standard for that size of a large flat roof? Is it sooner, or has it lasted longer than expected? Do we have any idea with that?
Roofs can last either short-term or long-term due to a wide range of reasons. This particular roof has a lot of equipment on top of it, and so it gets a lot of foot traffic on top of it. And so I think that led to the replacement that we're at. We are, with this process, doing a little bit different system with some additional reinforcement in it, which should better protect it from the foot traffic that it sees. And so we feel that this system is a better approach and should protect it.
Was there any warranty or anything like that that's useful for this?
Both the legal department, the learner, did reach out to the warranty, and because, again, of some of the foot traffic that was on there and some previous action that was taken, the warranty was voided.
And if we didn't fix this now, the problem would only get worse and lead to more costly repairs.
Correct. We just had a leak. It was reported to me by the learner staff. We just had another leak reveal itself about 2 weeks ago, and they had to do another emergency repair. So this is the proper solution to move forward with the roof.
Thank you.
Mr. Inky.
So this is a membrane. Is it a new membrane as far as rubberized, spray-on? What type is this?
Yes, this would be a membrane, a TPO membrane. And don't ask me what that acronym means, but yes, it's a standard high-end roof membrane. We're actually rebuilding the roof system all the way down to the steel deck. So we'll take it down to the steel deck, rigid foam insulation, a protection board, and then the rubber membrane. Yes, sir.
How old is the current roof?
I am not aware 100%. It was built with the Crystal Ballroom.
About 12 to 15 years old.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like it, but what's concerning is with all the foot traffic, you know, how we did not have a plan to protect the roof. It just seems like, you know, we bought a $1,050,000 fire truck, and someone decided to do something that voided the warranty of that thing, and it's been in the garage more than the old one it was supposed to replace. So knowing there's all this equipment on the roof, I'm surprised there was not a plan, because the realism is to taxpayers it's another $372,800. The AC systems replaced already on the learner was what, 1.5 million plus?
I don't recall.
And what was that acronym? What did that
A
stand for?
TPO membrane.
I know, I was just making fun. It's just very expensive, and it comes out of the same pocket, so I hope that we look forward to a better resolve as far as knowing we're going to have to service all the air handlers up there, right?
We are, like I said, we're using a different system this time, understanding the need for better protection.
Sorry to say, it sounds like we have no other choice. Did we take a bid process on this, I'm assuming?
Yes, we received 3 bids.
Thank you. Any other questions? Mr. Curry.
Yeah, Mr. President, I think I agree with Mr. Hinkie for once, and that we do need to take a better look at when we constructing these projects, because, you know, here we are spending $372,800 to fix this roof, and it's not that old. But I think we need to take a long look at these low bids that we get, and we allow people to get these low bids, and then 15 years later, we spending $372,000. Maybe we should have took a lot closer look at what we were getting for our money up front. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Seeing no more discussion, is there anyone in the audience who would like to speak with regards to this ordinance? Seeing none, we turn it back to council.
Oh, I had one. I didn't get my hand up fast enough.
Yes.
The doctor again. So this could be if you wanted to get more for your money, and since there's already stuff on the roof, and because it's flat, because if a climate resolution is in action, this would be a time where you could put paneling up there, solar panels, and work that into whatever's happening at the learner. That's a way to get more bang for your buck, so to speak. So you can include stuff like that in these types of bids while also simultaneously reducing carbon footprint.
Thank you. Is there anyone else? Seeing that, Melody, would you do a roll call vote on second reading, please?
Councilman Holtz.
Aye.
Councilman Curry.
Yes.
Councilwoman King.
Yes.
Councilman Mishler.
Aye.
Councilman Fish.
Yes.
Councilman Crabtree.
Yes.
Councilman Hinkie. President Dawson.
Aye. Third and final, please.
So moved. Second.
Okay, did you make the motion and second?
I thought
That's pretty
someone
good.
did.
That was
so
pretty good. I got a motion. Is there a second for Mr. Mishler? For third and final. Melody, would you read the, just by title and do a roll call vote, please?
Proposed ordinance 25-0-13, an ordinance appropriating $372,800 for the replacement of the north roof of the Lerner Theater. Councilman Holtz.
Aye.
Councilman Curry.
Yes.
Councilwoman King.
Yes.
Councilman Mishler.
Yes.
Councilman Fish.
Yes.
Councilman Crabtree.
Yes.
Councilman Hinkie. President Dawson.
Aye.
8-0.
Thank you. Would you read proposed ordinance 25-0-14 by title, please?
Proposed ordinance 25-0-14, an ordinance reappropriating $350,000 from the Great Elkhart Fund for the joint resurfacing project on County Road 6.
I get a motion and a second to adopt this on second reading.
So move.
Got a motion by
Second.
Mr. Crabtree, second by Mr. Mishler. Council discussion. Thank you.
Total work, so it's all lanes from where to where?
Mr. Schaefer.
Jeff Schaefer, Assistant City Engineer. Yes, so this is all of the lanes from Johnson Street to Oslo Road. The city limits, that road crosses the city limits, I believe, twice within that stretch. So rather than trying to, the city pave one section, then the county pave a different section, the county approached us initially last year, and then it was moved into this year's program. And they said, let's make this part of our big overall paving program. The city will pay 50%, the county will pay 50%. So this is a 50-50 split. By center line, it's about 50-50. So it's a pretty fair trade. They have already opened their bids and it came in within the budget.
Sorry, but, so their portion is 350 as well, so it's a $700,000 project?
We opened the bids, it actually came in it came in under that budget, but yes.
You said from Johnson to?
Johnson to Oslo, yes, sir. It includes the intersection of Oslo Road as well with County Road 6.
We have a general cost per lane?
Again, they controlled the bidding process on this, and they brought, we've reviewed their bids, and it's right in line with what our contract paving has been.
Not paying the county for any administration?
No, they're providing inspection services for free, and then we are helping out with some inspection as well.
Crabtree.
You know when that section had been paved last?
I do not.
Because it's a major thoroughfare, it probably gets a lot of truck traffic as well.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, I don't unfortunately have that date. It probably predates from when we started doing our Pacer.
Commissioner.
Any, timeline for when this will be started in the construction year? I know there's still a lot going on, Cass and Bristol Street coming up, so there's a lot of construction going on, just so folks can be prepared for it.
And with the county managing this, we will be working with them. We'll obviously have a lot of input on it. I believe, if I'm correct, I'm looking for my interlocal agreement. I believe it has to be done by September 15th, but we'll be working with them closely. We are aware of all the construction that's going on.
Thank you. Mr. Hickey.
Are there going to be any changes to the widths of lanes or bike paths?
No, not with this plan. This is just removing and replacing the pavement.
Okay, so with that said, though, is there any actual walkability besides the side of the road?
Unfortunately, not right now on County Road 6. It's something we'd like to address, but I think would require a lot more additional funding to do something there.
So like Mr. Crabtree stated, there is so much heavy truck traffic. I mean, heavy truck traffic. So the issue is, how do we, like the Lerner Theater, how do we better put a base down to hold that traffic so the construction lasts longer, as it were? I'm not sure the terminology, but
Sure.
is there something we can do because it is chewed up?
It is, and again, I don't know the last time it was resurfaced. Ideally, with on a street or a road like that, we would get between 12 and 15 years out of the pavement surface, which is the top 12 inches. And again, I don't know. One of the things, obviously, as you all recall, since we started doing our PASER ratings back in 2016, we're now tracking that very closely. All of our data goes to the state, and the state is working on models to try and figure that out. How often should you be paving your streets versus how often you're doing it? So it's definitely something we would like to understand better, and the state's helping us out with that.
Has materials improved for this paving?
That's an excellent question. There's a lot of research that goes into pavement. Have we improved? I hope so. We and both us, and I will say, no, the county's doing this as well, are trying to do a better job of making sure that we're getting the materials we're supposed to get.
Keith Riley received the bid?
I forget who actually won this contract. Again, it was included in the county's larger paving contract, and I don't recall. It might have been that Reith Riley won this contract, but I'm not sure.
All right, thank you. Any other questions? Thank you. Seeing none, I'll open up to the public. Is anyone in the public who'd like to speak with regards to this? Seeing none, we turn it back to council floor. Is there any council discussion? Seeing none, Melody, would you do a roll call vote on second reading, please?
Councilman Holtz?
Aye.
Councilman Curry?
Yes.
Councilwoman King?
Yes.
Councilman Mishler?
Aye.
Councilman Fish?
Yes.
Councilman Crabtree?
Yes.
Councilman Hinkie? President Dawson?
Aye.
Third and final.
Got a motion from Mr.
Second.
Crabtree, second from Mr. Fish. Melody, would you read it by title and do a roll call vote, please?
Proposed ordinance 25-0-14, an ordinance reappropriating $350,000 from the Great Elkhart Fund for the joint resurfacing project on County Road 6. Councilman Holtz.
Aye.
Councilman Curry.
Yes.
Councilwoman King.
Yes.
Councilman Mishler.
Yes.
Councilman Fish.
Yes.
Councilman Crabtree.
Yes.
Councilman Hinkie. President Dawson.
Aye.
Passes 8-0.
Thank you. Ordinance and resolutions referred to committee. Would you read proposed ordinance 25-0-10 by title, please?
Proposed ordinance 25-0-10, an ordinance establishing a rental inspection program for the city of Elkhart, Indiana.
Thank you. This was advertised for a public hearing tonight, so. This one wasn't the other. Financial one? All right. This will remain in committee. Would you read proposed ordinance 25-0-11 by title, please?
Proposed ordinance 25-0-11, an ordinance appropriating $95,000 to provide initial funding to implement the Elkhart rental inspection program.
Thank you. This one was advertised for a public hearing tonight. So if there's anyone that we will also have another public hearing when we go on second and third reading, but as it was advertised for tonight, we need to do it for tonight. Is there anyone who would like to speak with regard to proposed ordinance 25-0-15? The funding for rental inspection. Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing. Pardon?
Doing 11.
That was on.
What did you say, Ms.? All right, seeing none, we're turning back to the council for to remain in committee. And Mr. Mishler will be scheduling a committee meeting at the appropriate time. There are no tabled ordinances and resolutions. New business ordinance on first reading. Would you read proposed ordinance 25-0-15 by title, please?
Proposed ordinance 25-0-15, an ordinance appropriating $165,000 from the federal grant fund for the Energy Efficiency and Conservation Block Grant.
Thank you. If there are no objections, this will be passed on the second reading. Vacation hearings. There are no vacation hearings. Other new business. Is there any new business? Mr. Hinkie?
One, I appreciate Mr. Mishler chairing public safety in regard to rental registration. I think we all felt it was evident that we needed a greater conversation, especially with landlords. I thought about today taking pictures of houses that are clearly out of compliance, not knowing if they're rental or privately held, wouldn't know. But it seems to me that the same rules ought to apply to all houses in the city of Elkhart and not just rentals. I think we're picking out, it's kind of, as you well know, I think some of us were on council when dog ordinance came up, but that was over 16 sessions to try to figure out how to put pit bulls in and leave all other dogs out. And it turns out we couldn't do that. So I find the same thing here. I just think we need a larger discussion, and it's an overall concept in which we have nearly 43 laws and rules regarding housing standards. But as I go down pretty obvious streets every day, every block has houses fully outside compliance, and I'm wondering why we're not in front of them already. If they're rentals, so be it.
Councilman Henke, being that rental and inspection is already on the agenda and this is new business, we have to.
I think we need a larger discussion. We can cut it off all we wish.
Well, we can do that at committee meeting.
But I'll bring pictures
the
then, so it
parliamentarian
gives
has
us a better
spoken
idea.
that this is not new business, so that will be taken up at the committee
But I do
meeting.
think we need to advertise to get more people involved. Thank you.
Reports of the Mayor Board of Works. Good, I'm sorry.
Thanks. I just want to point out that Elkhart Parks and Recreation has put out their 2024 annual report, which has some great numbers on how well our parks are doing. And I encourage folks to check that out, which is on the municipal website as well as the Elkhart Parks and Recreation Facebook page. Thank you.
Thank you. Reports, Board of Works, Mayor, Board of Safety, City Department heads. Yes.
Megan Irwin, Chief of Staff. Just a reminder that tomorrow is Mayor Rod's State of the City address. It will be held at the Lerner Theater in the Crystal Ballroom. Doors open at 5 p.m. and the speech or presentation will begin promptly at 5:30 p.m. The public is invited.
Thank you. Neighborhood Association reports. Are there neighborhood association reports? Mr. Curry.
I'd just like to say the Pimoran Neighborhood Association continue to reach out to neighbors. We had a big event in our neighborhood. It happened to be a 14-year-old that lived in our neighborhood. She had a birthday party, and she invited us seniors to come. I think it was more seniors there than teenagers, but it's always good to know the young people in your neighborhood and the good things they're doing. Thank you.
You had a 90-year-old birthday party in your neighborhood too, didn't you?
Yes, we did. Mrs. Edgerton, she lives in our neighborhood, and she turned 90, and we had her birthday party at Towson Center, and that was also a great event. She's a former school teacher, so you know she's okay. All right.
Definitely.
Any other? Seeing none. Privilege of the floor. Is anyone in the audience who would like to speak on anything that was not on the agenda tonight? If so, please come forward.
George Ridley. I just want to say I appreciate our city. It does have a lot of resources, and I don't feel that we have a shortage of resources, because last Monday night I had a light show outside my home, and there was apparently a person needed to be arrested for resisting arrest, and there was 20 squad cars there to take care of that. And whenever there is a gathering of officers for such things, they take a half hour or so to have communication with one another before they disperse. So we do have a lot of resources that we just have to figure out how we want to use them. And so when it comes to how we want to care for different needs in our city, we have plenty of resources. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else in the audience who'd like to speak?
I
Seeing
would.
none?
I wanted to ask, what is the next? I was just on the phone with this high schoolers as they were headed to the concert. This is Dr. Sarah Nahar again, community organizer, worked on the Tolson project, finishing my PhDs now, hoping to return home. What is the next step, they wondered, to follow up and to know who we can talk to next in order to get the resolution in motion?
It's an administration question, and we have it on file, and Megan is here to.
Thanks, Dr. Nahar. That was a great question. We will be, there's a piece in the resolution that instructs the administration to identify a sustainability officer within current staff. That will be our next step, and then that person will be the one to coordinate with the students and other interested partner organizations or interested residents who want to participate.
Thank you. Public. Seeing none. Scheduling of committee meetings. Mr. Mishler.
Yes, thank you. The next committee meeting for the Health and Public Safety Committee meeting over ordinances 25-0-10 and 25-0-11, which are the rental inspection ordinance and the funding ordinance related, will be next Monday at 6 p.m., and that will be for the public to comment. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Can I get a motion to acceptance of communications?
So move.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Crabtree, second by Mr. Fish, that we accept communications. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Can I get a motion for adjournment?
So move.
A motion by Mr. Crabtree, second by Mr. Fish. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. We are adjourned.